Welcome to those who are watching. Y'all bear with me. I'm trying to learn new things. I am trying to also stream to Discord, but it is not as easy as I thought it would be. Nothing is easy. Yeah, I gotta figure it out because I know the audio is gonna loop, so that ain't gonna work. Hmm. Well, that's backwards. Oh well, it looks like we're not doing Discord. I wanted to try to do Discord with some messaging and stuff. I don't know if I need to set that up as a. I don't know if I need to set that up as kind of like a stage or something or what. I was trying to stream to YouTube Live and to Discord at the same time. I know there was some talk earlier, or maybe last week, we talked about doing a couple of different things with Discord. So always trying to expand, man, and bring more people in. Some people don't want to deal with YouTube. I don't know. Let's see. So we got 7 people. Jay Martin, who fought it. What's happening, guys? Glad you can join me on Tuesday night. Oh. 7 people. So who saw my extended edition of the Wingbits talk on my video I released this morning? I was quite proud of it, to be honest with you. It was such a hard balance of staying negative to positive, because it's something I'm still very positive on. I was trying to get that point across that there's positives in waiting on an AMA, waiting on TGE on Wingbits. I know some people don't really look at that, but hey, trying to catch up on some different Discords. See if I see any news that grabs me. See if Weather XM is still making bad decisions for everybody. I think that voting should be finished with, right? For Weather XM. So when bigger hex sizes. But maybe a mic different. This microphone, the way it's set up, is if I get too far away, it does not sound the same. It does not sound right the way it's set up. If you looked at my earlier videos, and you can tell from the background which videos those are, when I was doing them with a green screen, because I was technically in my office at work that I was not supposed to be at to a point. It was after hours, but I didn't want people to see me in there, so I used a goofy green screen. But the ones with the goofy green screens that didn't have the background like you see here was on a kind of a desktop mic that's set up. I thought I had it somewhere around here. Here's a microphone like this one. And you had the gain on it and stuff like that. A little tripod, and set it in the front. But even this one, depending on how close you got to it or how far away you got, it made a difference. And I will say OBS has some pretty good features on how to tune it. They got several YouTube videos on how to tune it, make yourself sound better. And I got some good results and some good feedback from y'all on this microphone. But I had a buddy who had this way more expensive microphone who was getting out of the streaming business. He was doing, as life would have it, he had a kid. And it didn't take him maybe about 2 years of having a kid to realize that he's not going to be streaming video games anymore. And he gave me this. I mean, this is a kind of an expensive setup, and it does make the world, to me, it makes a world of difference. I needed a fancier mixer for it and different settings and stuff like that, but it was a little bit better. How about more cam, more left and twisted so you have more profile? Well, the problem is, to be honest with you, you know, when I had the camera like, you can make me mess this up. When I had the camera like this was straight on. I guess I need to be looking at this while I'm doing this. And I didn't like this at all. This is how my videos used to be. So then I put it at the angle, because that's actually what the friend who gave me the mic had it as. But as you can see, if I put it too much of an angle, y'all can see my little desk over here with all my crypto boxes on it and junk and old ham radios, and it's an old entertainment center actually. And my wife would flip out. You can see all my demo boxes. Right here, demo boxes. And I don't know what the white box is. That's another DEPIN project. I have a bad habit of keeping projects. So I've tried to, so this is somewhat of an angle. Now, what I really would like to do, and I'm gonna give you all a little behind the scenes, and my wife will beat the mess out of me because she is so anal about this stuff. I really would like to try to do it from this angle, but as you can see, I'm in the process of taking the old blinds out. This used to be my daughter's room. We moved my daughter's room to another side. So we have plantation shutters, what they call plantation shutters, the wooden shutters that go across. Well, she didn't want that in her room back then. She had some other kind of curtains. So we took down, and I have a blanket over this just to make it darker right now while I'm doing this video, like in the last 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So I have plantation shutters from windowsshutters.com or something like that, windows.com, that are on order. And that's my buck. But from Texas. No, actually, yeah, that's my first Texas buck. But so I kind of like this angle a lot better. I think y'all would agree. But if I'm looking this way, I don't know how this microphone sounds. I don't know. Because I've always been told you need to have it facing towards you. I'm not going to do this, of course. But if I take this microphone and put it on this side, then basically it's the same thing of what y'all are seeing on this side. And I still have to improve my lighting a little bit. I like some of the YouTubers that have the lighting on the background and that kind of stuff like that. This Elgato light is stupidly bright, and this is turned down to 4%, and it brightens everything up. This is 8%. Like, I feel like I got a spotlight on me, and this is like 25. So see, this is all the behind the scenes stuff of YouTubers. Y'all realize that we don't go through. I mean, y'all don't realize that we go through trying to figure out what lighting is the best, where to have the camera at, and different things like that. It's different. This camera and shot. Oh, you mean like less mic boom in the shot? Because you can actually like tilt this up more and then tilt this down. I've tried that too. I can tell Axie's not watching this video right now because he'd be giving me all kinds of feedback, But you can also do something like this. I don't like this because I feel like I have this tendency of talking up, even though I don't need to. There's even times where I did the opposite way, where I would do this. And that's a little bit different. You know, I don't know. For some reason, I just don't like this. Anyway, so yeah, we only got 7 people in here. We lost half of them when I was dealing with mics and stuff like that. What's going on in crypto, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know. My big thing is Weather XM right now. If y'all saw my video, trying to see kind of what's going on with that. I'm curious to know how their voting did. I kind of know what the results are going to be. All my screens are messed up now because I've been sitting here playing with them, trying to get Discord to work. But this voting, the voting show for Weather XM should be finished by now, right? So either, and I really like. I'm curious to know without y'all getting in trouble, nothing like that. I'm curious to know, is there anybody who voted for this or would have voted for it if it wasn't such a pain in the butt to vote? Like, does anybody can tell me anything positive about this vote? Basically, you know, if you did a Weather XM station as part of this targeted rollout, which majority of y'all who are in this project probably were not part of it, because if you were in the beta, pre-TGE, early adopter, you took a chance with this project, spent your money taking a chance on this project, you're getting screwed. Now, one thing that I had somebody tell me is, but Grumpy, you're not really getting screwed. Your rewards aren't changing. If you were getting screwed, your rewards will be going down. Touche. I agree with that. But you're giving bonuses now to people who are coming online now in targeted rollouts, and not the people who help build your project. This is helium again. Like, but so it appears that timeline says it ends now September 10th at 6 a.m. So you got 11 hours, 10 and a half hours to go vote for this. But ladies and gentlemen, unless you're holding 150,000 tokens, don't bother. And there's no way anybody's holding 150,000 worth of tokens. So again, I think this is screwing people over that supported this project early. If y'all disagree, please tell me. I'm all ears. So it allows the WXM token to be used to buy new stations. See, I don't see that on here. To me, this says the people who are, you know, because it requires upfront capital from supporters, they make it sound like because people who are buying this device now in certain areas, they are having to spend their hard-earned money, like as if we all didn't have to. See, it improves incentives for supporters participating in it. So to me, if I was to buy a station as part of this targeted rollout, I would be incentivized. It encourages deployers to meet a 2-year operational commitment, accelerates high priority targeted network growth. Applies only devices flagged, boost is additive. So separate reward system is not a multiplier. So they get their normal reward plus this boost. Oh, all boosted amount flows into support pool distributed lane, blah, blah. Again, to me, and 619, that's how I'm taking this as people who have purchased devices already as part of this rollout is getting an additional reward. If they're getting, I think right now we're getting what, 1.8, 1.9 per day WeatherXM, maybe 2. I have 2 WeatherXM stations. One of them gets between 2 and 2.1. The other one gets like 1.9, 1.8. They both have the same 99% uptime. I don't understand it. I don't argue with it because it makes, half a cent difference. But to me, the way I read this is those people, as part of this rollout, will continue to get the 1.9 WeatherXM token. And then they're also going to get an additional reward. And where this reward comes from, I'm sure they're not minting additional tokens, so I don't know, exactly where it's coming from. I'm sure it says somewhere. So it's like super hexes. So 619, are you for this or against this? I know do you want bigger hexes in WeatherXM also? I don't know. It was on the app. You could either invest in new station with partial rewards or buy and install yourself. So I can tell you, I've been stacking my WeatherXM also. I have not sold any at all. So I don't know, I don't know if y'all can hear. My daughter and my wife are painting. Just like I told you, like I had to rearrange this room for my daughter getting out. This is my YouTube studio now. And since my son moved out, he lost his bathroom and my daughter took the bathroom over, and now they're painting together, my wife and my daughter, my teenage 16-year-old daughter. You know how that's going right now. So about as well as y'all can hear. So anyway, so is this program still available? If I wanted to go buy a station partially or fully, is the targeted rollout still available? If you look at my Discord, it was explained that this was not a good thing. Apparently there's 170,000 people tokens worth of votes saying it is a good thing. I don't know. The positive thing I'll continue to say also is it's not the end of the world like helium, because when helium, our tokens went down, our rewards went down. We're at less than 300 stations deployed, and we're getting rewards like as if there's still 900,000 stations out there, and it has nothing to do with having those rewards right now. Getting 0.1 H&T. If it was because of the having, we would have been getting 0.2 H&T before, but we weren't. Rewards were not this bad when we had 300 stations online before, if that makes sense. So, we'll see. Only time will tell. Time will tell. WeatherXM is not the most rewarding station right now. That is for sure. I don't know if they need to do some type of burning, some type of token buy, something. They need to do something with this token because it's not doing super well. That's for sure. Let's see. So you're down to 6% from when I did my video last night. 10 cents. 10 cents to 9 cents. You're down about the same percentage for the week. For the month, you're down 31%. For the year, you're tanking hard. You're getting 1.9. Let's just call it even 2 for kicks and giggles. So you're making 19 cents a day right now with WeatherXM. That's not. Hey, if this gives it life support and gets another boost, I'm all for it. I don't know. I don't know how this turns out, but you're making $6 a month. What's the new station cost right now anyway? $300 divided by 0.2. It's only taking you 1,500 days to ROI on a new station. Yeah. If you say so. Oh, $400. My bad. Let's rework them numbers. $2,000 days. 2,000 days. 5.5 years. You'd probably will ROI faster on a brand new helium device for $150 than you would a WeatherXM device right now. Wow. I will say, my first station is the one that has a different kind of screen on it. Is it the D1 or something like that with the M5 thing in it? That's the one I used to do videos about all the time, that even though it was right above me on the roof, it would lose connection all the time. This is the one that I recently got. I love this. I ain't gonna say I love it. Let me backtrack. I like this one a lot more than the M5 version. Y'all know my issue with this one is I'm a weather geek. I'm a weather aficionado. I get excited for tropical storms and hurricanes. If y'all have seen any of my weather videos on my 4th YouTube page that I have, and I have a channel in my Discord for it. But my issue with this is there's no rain gauge on it. There's a current rain of how much. To me, a rain gauge is basic weather. Excuse me, I ate right before I did a live. You think I'd learn my lesson? But there's some basic, there's like 4 basic things for weather: the temperature, the wind, the humidity, and rain gauge. You can buy rain gauges by themselves. That's how important it is. People need to know, like for me, I have hybrid Bermuda that I'm always working on in my front yard, and my poor backyard looks like a mess because I don't care. It's just a pasture grass almost. But I have this hybrid Bermuda in the front yard that I have to know how much it's rained. And this fancy ass $400 weather station cannot tell me how much it rained today. Which it hasn't rained in here in like 3 or 4 days. It's not supposed to rain for another week. So I've been running sprinklers all night. Can't wait to see my water bill. But in case y'all looking at a weather XM station, this is positive news to you. There you go. Helium deploy. Use my code, you'll get 10% off. What else we got, ladies and gentlemen? Well, we got to catch up. God, my Discord has 20 in this back. 20 weather stations? Convert your helium to into crank or it's useless. Odin, I disagree on that, but that's just me. I'm taking a rare, very high road on this one. That's something you and me can talk about in private. Crank. See, I say I'm taking a high road, and here I am getting pulled into the trenches. I'm running bit harvest devices on a lot of my devices, so I'm already multi-mining. They're not perfect either. Having issues with grass. I don't know if grass works on crank. I'd be very interested to know if it does or not. But my pawns and my honey gain and my earn app and my Wingbits works on BHS right now. You know, if they can get a couple of their other issues solved, it is what it is. I have, for those who might be some helium nerds out there, I have a brand new, straight out the box, was still wrapped, so it's never been deployed before, Syncrobit. That's the one, that's the white square. Now, backtrack a little bit. I had a sense cap and a rack that I recently just got. Both of these onboarded, they were brand new, onboarded with the black helium app with no problem. You follow the prompts, you Bluetooth it into it, follow the prompts, boom, it's online, onboarded, pick your location, which antenna height, which antenna dB gain, boom, you're online. My Syncrobit will not go online. It gets a Bluetooth, and that's it. I understand that all these manufacturers don't have onboarding credits no more, and I got to pay for that myself. Hey, I had to do that with this one. I had to do that with the new Sense Cap. I'm not worried about that. You flash it with the new Nebra software, and that's what I had to do for this one. That's what I had to do for the Sense Cap. And they both onboarded no problem. My Syncrobit will not onboard for nothing. I connect Bluetooth to it. When I connect Bluetooth to it, it just gives me a Wi-Fi option or diagnostics. No matter which one you click, or if you just click next on the bottom, it just hangs for a while. It then just says disconnected. That's all it does. And it's a brand new Syncrobit. So I was a little disappointed in that. I really need at least one more helium station to replace the one that went out on the tower, because that one was so high in the tower that all my other heliums could witness it. I found that my rewards went down a little bit. Then I had to go take down one station also from a host to send to my son at college in North Louisiana, because he has a demo device, and that demo couldn't see a connection because all the helium devices online, even though it showed hexes, were all offline. So to keep his demo going, I sent the helium device up there. So any of y'all, I saw somebody asking about a helium device strictly for the data. You don't make anything off data. Don't make anything off data. And I think that's sad for a helium IoT project. You don't make jack squat on that. Had a single report? Yes, I have at least 4 out of my 15 are probably that. I had to get the little, was it CM4 board or whatever they are from Raspberry Pi off Amazon or whatever, to take the board off, to put it on the CM4 board, put the OS on it. Knock on wood, watch your mouth, knock on wood. I think 2 might be running Bit Harvest, maybe. But either way, I think 3 out of the 4 are online. One of them completely went out. But remember, I deployed these in 2020, 2021. So, devices, electronics, they lasted this long in the outdoors, in the wild, and lightning storms and all this stuff like that. I ain't got no issues with them. I'm not going to tell you that they're still not as bad as the rock pies. Those rocks, Nebra rocks, or whoever made the rocks, those rock pies, they were the worst. I had 4 or 5 of them, and none of them worked. I can't remember which direction. It's either that when they beaconed, nobody could witness it, or when another station's beaconed, it wouldn't witness it. I can't remember what direction it was, and I did a ticket on it, and everybody told me there's nothing wrong with it. And I would have these sometimes right next to each other now the thing about this is the rock pies would witness each other, but the rock pies would not witness Sense Caps, Syncrobits, Bobcats, or anything else. It was weird. They were a piece of craps. And then when I tried to even convert them to an OS with, and then eventually put Wingbits on it, if Maxie was here, he's been helping me. I have one that I'm hosting for a friend. That's much I didn't like it. I let my friend put a device on it back when we were using DScam, and I ended up putting Wingbits on it for him. The OS won't even accept the GeoSigner. And I'm hosting it for him, but it's still an hour from my office, and I don't have time to go out there and change out the OS. Like, they're just piece of cruds. Still waiting for my Nebra. Don't worry, brother. They're coming next week. Yeah. 619, like, I can connect Bluetooth. It sees it, because when I'm in my black helium, and I always say black helium because I have people say, which helium while using? They're using the old blue one or the black one? No, it's the black one, the black helium one. And then when I go to it and I press, go to my collectibles and I press connect hotspot, it searches for Bluetooth enabled, and it shows me the Nebra Syncrobit or whatever it is. I click it, and then it shows me Wi-Fi and diagnostics. Can't remember if when I go to diagnostics, it showed me IP or whatever like that. But my network sees it. I get an IP. I could even go into Chrome, put the IP in, and get to that Syncrobits dashboard, which is now Nebra. And it says awaiting location. Shows me North America frequency. But on this app, it will not get onboarded into my wallet. If you go to the Moken Explorer tells me that it's never been onboarded before. So I don't know what the hell's wrong. What's wrong with it? What else is going on? So while we're going to talk about the weather, I have a newfound interest on this. If y'all caught my live some time ago, I hate to call them out, but I had somebody promise me that he was sending me a Nubila Marco. That was back in June. I went back and looked at the private messages, and he was supposed to be sending me one. And I'm still waiting for the Nubila Marco. And I reached out to him again last night after I did my video. If y'all caught my video this morning, I'm like, hey, bro, you mentioned, hey, I don't want to be greedy, but you said you were sending me one. Like, I don't want to go buy one of these and find out that, like, oh, yeah, I forgot I didn't send it to you. Here's another one and have two of them. Really don't want to spend $300 if I don't have to. And I can go spend that on another new project that's coming out or something. But I have a newfound interest for this. Reading more about it, reading some of the people involved in it. I don't know. I don't know how long. If y'all have these, tell me what y'all's feedback is on them. Do they have solar so that, I see that this guy has to put a solar thing on it. So if I want to leave this outside permanently and never have to worry about it, I'd like to put this maybe at my, but then it has to have internet. I'd like to put it at my hunting lease, but I don't have internet there. But I'd like to know what my weather is up there. I don't need another weather station around here. At my house, I got a Davis and the Weather XM. At my work, I got a Davis, a Weather XM, and some other one that the alarm keeps going off all the time that somebody else put up at work. So I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Tempest is the other one that another guy's into weather. He put a Tempest on the roof too. Yeah, we got like 4 or 5 different weather stations at the roof. And you know what's funny? Not a single one matches. That's the hilarious part. I'm trying to think what other weather ones they got. WeatherBug, the EOC or Emergency Operations Center has a WeatherBug one up there too. So it's WeatherBug, Tempest, Weather XM, Davis. That's 4. And none of them match. The winds never match. The temperature doesn't match. Humidity doesn't match. Heat index don't match. It's hilarious. So I already know which one is accurate. Y'all tell me. I know, and there's another weather one that's out there that you don't hear too many people talk. Let me tell you, people are still buying these because when my code goes out for some of these other projects like the Entropy Ashler, Wingbits 200, WB 200, or the other one, MGW 310, I had people buying. Like, I would go look at my code. I could see what people are buying. I have no idea who's buying it. I like to make sure I tell y'all that. I have no idea who's buying it. I don't even know what part of the world y'all are from or what part of the country y'all from. It just says that your code was used at this time and this is what they purchased. So my thank you very much to the person who bought 3 WB 200s. That's why I try to tell y'all that people are still getting into this project. I'm sure they're going to put them all around 619. you know, because I'm sure he has some hexes open around him. But people were buying this Nubula in addition to that. They're not buying Weather XMs. I couldn't tell you the last time Weather XM was bought. These are still selling. Now, there's another weather station that's out there that you don't really hear too much about, but SkyX. Which weather station do you think will have the better? I got both. I have both. I prefer Nubla. It has better interface. Community seems to be more active. I got in the sky the initial wave monitors. There was no things wrong with it. Honestly, is it so on the ecosystem or just got Nubla Marco? Is Nubla on Solana? It's totally dead for SkyX. Is it dead? Y'all tell me. I'm letting y'all know right now, I'm getting a Nubla. I'm just telling you know, I like to tell y'all, be upfront with y'all. It might not be today. I'll get that right now. It could be today. My son is literally texting me right now. He's in construction management for a degree. He had to go buy tools and buy hard. He's already asking me, this is what I had to go pay for today. Can somebody pay me back? Welcome to my life. This is why I can't buy more crypto and stuff. Yeah, I'm definitely at some point going to get a Nubla. I could hope I can get the one that I want in on Nubla. Whether I got to put it at my hunting camp and try to find Wi-Fi for it from somewhere, cellular. I don't know if it'll work off a cellular modem or something. Why not? I'm already paying for enough of them. Y'all tell me. I put 2 Nebras last weekend. Hope for the best. So Jorge says, Jorge, do you have any Nublas? You're in more DEPIN projects than I am by far. Do you have any Nubulas? Do you have SkyXs? I know you have Weather XM, but I'm curious if you're into these other ones. Like I said, I'm a weather nerd. I like the weather. So therefore, what I'm gonna tell you is whether or not it takes me 3 months or 6 months, 9 months to ROI on this, this is the kind of project I kind of get into in my geek mode, meaning if I don't exactly, you know, make a killing off of it, it's not the end of the world for me. Weather XM's kind of the same thing. Kind of didn't really expect to be behind Lambos off my Weather XM when I bought them. So, yeah, I don't know. And SkyX also. So is Nubula on Solana? That's what I want to know. What chain is Nubula on? Well, usually it tells you on here. And then I also didn't know Nubula had these nodes either. That might be where the money's at. Might be. I'm telling you, it might be. Not financial advice, the whole spiel. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Don't follow me. But some of y'all like to run nodes. To me, nodes are truly passive income. Where Nadix and Sword Chain, you got set up the devices somewhere. Nodes are truly passive income. Now, I think this is the one that you have to so after 100 days you get cloud node digital products. I'm gonna guess that means you are going to provide the equipment for it. But it also determines how successful the project is if the node is going to be successful or not. So I guess the better node you get, the better reward you get. But technically, you don't even know. Oh, validated nodes have been seeing strong demand. Over 16,000 nodes have been sold already, reflecting growing. That's strong. Y'all can say what y'all want. Talking about WeatherXM or SkyX or Nubla. 16,000 nodes at some of these prices. That's pretty strong. I don't know about $1,500 worth, especially when you have no idea what the rewards are going to be. It was cool. Is WeatherXM moving Solana. I saw them talking about bridging something in the Discord, so I believe they are. Um, so it is on Solana. Rolon says he already has WXM, don't need any more. Hey, man, everybody needs 3 weather stations in their backyard, because that's what I'll end up having with this. If I just put in my backyard, I got 2. I will say again, even though it's not crypto, but my Davis weather station, again, that device was $1,000. I bought that years ago, before Katrina, which was 2005, with my fantasy football winnings. Bought that Davis. It was $1,000 back then, because that's how much of a weather geek I was. It has come down during Hurricane Katrina. It came down in 100-mile-an-hour winds and got blown across my yard. 100-mile-an-hour winds for Ida. It came down for that that hurricane we had last year. That was only a Cat 1. We had about 70-mile-an-hour winds before it came down. In other words, I got to find a better way to fasten it. But that Davis weather station has come down probably in 3 or 4 storms. In between all that, some tropical systems we had. The problem is I put it on the 4x4 post of my fence, and the whole fence comes down, which takes the weather station with it. So right now it's on its own. And I put a 4x4 post in my yard, cemented, and the only thing on the 4x4 post is my Davis weather station now. So one point is that Davis weather station has taken a licking. It's a little dirty. It's very sun faded, but it keeps on rocking and rolling. It is a pain in the butt to get online. You got to put it to like a Pi or something like that. Run WeWix or something to that effect, or buy a program from Davis, which you already paid $1,000 for. So to get a weather station like this online for $300 is pretty good. I've told you before about how I feel about the helium. About the WeatherXM station. That plastic just crumples in your hand if you hold it wrong and comes apart and stuff like that. I've already had to get mine replaced. The M5 version, I already had to get that replaced once. They put me through all kinds of stuff just to get it replaced. They wanted me to do videos of everything. It was crazy. Crazy. They will have bought a company in 2024, Bloom Sky. Normally, and somebody can correct me on this, nodes are so that they don't have to go rent server space like with Amazon and be held hostage with all these different like big servers with big data centers. You hosting the nodes, they're keeping in. That's how a lot of these projects work with nodes. You're the one that's storing the blockchain information and all that kind of stuff for them, or doing the processing, kind of like what the ASIC miners are to Bitcoin and Litecoin, Ethereum, Z chain and stuff like that. So I'm thinking that that's what this node would be also. But so it's not really to get your device online. It is to keep the blockchain running, I would think. And you have so many nodes out there, kind of like a Bitcoin miner. There's not a big server running the Bitcoin blockchain. It's running on all these nodes and all these ASIC miners. What about GeoNet? Better diversity of nodes is better than network security and reliability. There you go. Odin answered it for me. It's funny. People want to sit here and knock Solana, and people can knock Solana, but you have more and more projects. Now, me, I wish I could see more projects going to um 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 it's been a long day. Jesus Christ. Um it has been a long day. I apologize. I've been out in the sun today. Then I went to the gym. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. My arms hurt so bad right now that I can't even oh no, as soon as I see it, it's gonna kill me. Peak. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Peak. I wish I saw more projects going to peak. I think that's how peak. Y'all know I hold a mess load of peak. Several thousand a peak. I wish I could see more projects going to peak. It seems like the projects that are going to peak right now ain't doing it no favors. Combiner swears they're going to peak, but there's no talk at all about TGE on that unless it's somewhere in this mess of a Telegram. I keep telling them they need to go to Discord, but oh, let's see, Combiner. Then you also have Silencio. Y'all, if y'all followed any of my videos, y'all know how I feel about Silencio right now. That's another thing I wanted to kind of mention to y'all was that I see me exiting a lot, not a lot, but I see me exiting a good amount of my failing in my eyes, DEPIN projects first of the year. I'm sick of every time I get in the car. It was fun and cool at first and cool to brag to y'all and do videos on it. But you know what? I look like an idiot with 4 freaking phones on my dashboard driving around, making 19 cents a day. Really. So unless we have some kind of crazy alt season that brings up, I do have a motto. In a very strong alt season, even the shit coins go up. We watched in the last alt season projects that were completely abandoned, and people would see these tokens going up in value. I'm like, why? There's not even a project anymore. And unless I see that with Nadix, Soarchain, I think I already put the kibosh on Silencio. Just the way I feel about them wanting subscriptions and the stupid ads and stuff. I could see that definitely being 3 projects right there I'm out of. I'm not setting up that stuff every day. I'm not fighting with Soarchain to keep my little device synced with my phone to get 20 tokens on a 2-hour drive worth 9 cents. I'm just not doing it. Like it's idiocracy. If y'all disagree, look, that's all y'all. I know how some of y'all are. Y'all love y'all projects. I just can't see it. I just, y'all tell me if I'm wrong, but like Soarchain, I have a bunch of tokens staked. It needs a 90-day cooling off period or destaking period or whatever you want to call it. Let me see. I don't want to lie to y'all. 85,000 tokens. It has a 90-day unstaking period. My plan is October 1. I'm unstaking all of it. So by the time December comes, end of December, it's free for me to sell. Y'all want to know? I tell y'all all the time. I mean, try to be honest with y'all. Nadix, I don't even know what the hell that's at. If it's on the wallet, on the app or whatever. I got it all in the spreadsheet. I'm out of it. I'm not dealing with Nadix. And look, I was high on Nadix. I just don't see it. Same thing with Silencio. Almost all my staking on Silencio ends in December. Taking it, putting it all into a token of my choice, whether that's going to be Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, or some other token like VET, Cardano, some other token that grabs my attention that I think can go a leg up. That's my plan as of right now. How has Nadix been? Am I doing something wrong? I drive everywhere with my Nadix on. I make sure that I plan my nitros to when I have at least 2 or 3 road trips planned within 10 days. Whether I'm going down to Grand Isle to go fishing or check on my 2 different Wingbit stations, which is a 2.5, 3-hour drive. Going up to my son's college, which is a 3-hour drive. Going to my hunting camp is a 2-hour drive. That's one direction. So that's a 5-hour drive total. So I'm running Nadix and all that. I'm making sure I run my nitros and all that. And let's see. Nadix. Here's Nadix. So I made 8,000 for a first driver service. That's 8,600. So we're gonna take a trusty calculator and say 8,600 for my first driving circle. Then I made for the month, I made 26,520 Nadix. 20.01. I'm trying to read this. See, this says you earn 26,520 Nadix and 26,520 gem from your first drive circle, 103 Nadix from your second drive circle. So where is my for the month reward? Oh, right here. Your final rank in August cycle is 343, and you got 12,055 Nadix. So is this other one? Why do I have 2 different reward circles? Like, this makes no sense. So let's just add this up. We can add it up. 12,500 plus 12,000 plus 12,550. 47,670. 47,670. That's $33. Oh, that's actually like $1 a day. If this is right, I think I'm doubling up something. I don't know. I can send you a B. Yeah, send me a B. Because right now I got this much dashboard to look out of. So what's a B? I can put that B right here. I'll be like Ace Ventura, looking out the windshield or out the side window while I'm driving. Oh, glad I kept Demo. Odin, I know I argue with you a lot, man. Please don't take this personal. But dude, I don't know if you're on crack. Whatever you on, if you got some good liquor over there, share it, man. I don't know where you're from, but it sounds like y'all got some good liquor over there. But Demo has a good model. I'll argue that all day. Demo came out. I'm slouching. Demo came out at some time ago and was all about, hey, we're going to sell your data because right now, I took a picture of it. Let me see. People argued about why would you ever plug something into your vehicle? Why would you ever plug something in your vehicle to sell your data? Because right now, my Chevy 2500 diesel for work is in the shop. Brand new. It's in the shop again. Roof's leaking. Cool. You have free sprinkler system. Anyway, so I'm in a Nissan right now as a spare pool vehicle. When you start the vehicle, you know what it says? Your vehicle transmits data, including your location, to Nissan for various research, project, evaluation, internal and commercial purposes in according with your Nissan contract, service subscriber terms and conditions. In other words, that data, and this is what I've argued and told people who argue with me about Demo and Sword Chain or whatever else plugs in the OBT port. And this is the same thing Demo said back then. Your data is already being sold. But Nissan, in this case, Nissan's making money off of it. or GM's making the money off of it, or Ford's making the money off of it, or Toyota. Because guess what? My daughter's Toyota has the same exact message, other than where it says Nissan, it says Toyota. They copied and pasted it. So at least with in Demo's argument, or Demo's carrot, as they say, to attract you was, hey, Nissan is already selling that, so why don't you hook this Demo device up and we'll sell that data for you and you'll get paid in Demo. Now they're saying, we never said that. We're just giving you the opportunity. We're just giving you the transport part of you being able to sell that data. It's up to you to go sell it. And then they also now said they're trying to use this third-party thing to sell. I've signed up for those, whatever it was, those programs to possibly sell your data for you. I've never heard anything more from it. I've never seen anything sold from it. Every time you open up this stupid app, it says I have a new version, but it doesn't update. If y'all watch my video the other day, my daughter's vehicle keeps saying over and over. Oh, let's see where it's at. Oh, Macaron. No, it's not Macaron, but yeah, it's Macaron. Toyota Camry. Macaron. And it keeps saying update firmware. I know those who watch my video saw this. Keep saying update firmware. You do the update firmware and you roll through all the prompts, and eventually it says devices update complete, happy driving. And you close out of that. You go back, this is yesterday, and you go back into it, and what's it say? You're still on the old version. Come on, man. But going back to what I was saying before is when you go to market, they give you some of these other connect with drivers and shit. Reserve parking, your mechanic, deal, share your data, earn points, quality, whatever. I summed up for this. I have not gotten anything ever back from it. I don't know if I'm supposed to. I don't know. I'm not that bullish on Demo. Demo is supposed to be getting rid of all these accounts. They let these people who just had a username and password to like gm.com sign up and they were getting rewards. They booted those out. And then what else? I still think, and I know I cannot prove this, I still think, and I will continue to say that I won't have any evidence, not that I would. And I know I'm not the only one that feels this way, but I still feel that this was straight price manipulation. I still say that the 25th was a Monday. They started saying, oh, hell, people are not buying subscriptions. What the hell are we going to do? This is when in the description, I think they gave like some of them a little bit of a byway, or, a little bit of a leeway, if that's the word to use. And I still think Demo said, oh, shit, people are not subscribing. What the hell are we going to do? So they took some money out of their party fund, beer run money, piggy bank, cigarette fund or something, injected their liquidity into this. It jumps up. You have people admitting on Discord, on X, that when they saw this happen, they said, oh, shit, C-H-I-T, so I don't get in trouble. C-H-I-T, shit. Oh, shit, maybe I need to subscribe. And they fell for it. Guess what happens a couple of days later? Right back down. Then it goes back up a little bit, down, up, down, and now we're just, and I still argue all day that that's what happened. Straight price manipulation. Straight, and you can't say it's price manipulation because other projects will take liquidity from data sales and stuff like that and dump that in there and then burn tokens and stuff like that. So I don't want to say it was price manipulation, just that it was a planned panic money injection, if that's the word. 619, have a good day at work, man. I'm done. Done for the day. Static sold at the last pump. Hey, bro, I couldn't do it. I'm majority of my tokens are staked. They also, this along with my other projects, I'm telling you, all these projects, y'all know Grumpy's code, don't stake longer than 6, 9, 12 months. But all my projects are coming off of staking or ending staking end of the year. Demo, I don't know quite what I'm going to do with yet. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I don't know. It also matters if this token is going back down and is back down to where, it's lower than what it was before all this, in the 4s and the 3s. I'm going to lick my wounds and run. But some of these projects, it gets to a point that it's so low. You're like, why the hell am I going to sell and get $20 out of this? That's what I feel about some of these projects. I don't know what's going to happen with grass. I don't understand how a project can only sell, can only reward people once a year, and nobody sees an issue with that. You don't hear hardly anybody complaining about it. I'm hoping that the rewards are so great on grass that nobody complains and everybody's just so happy they got that money that they don't care. We'll see. Why were they so eager to subscribe after only 2 days? Because if they weren't subscribing, they didn't get rewards when the token was 12 cents. So they're seeing that token that they should have got rewarded was worth, what we still getting? 55 tokens times 12 cents. They didn't want to miss out on that. $6. Where right now, them same 55 tokens are worth $3. So they're like $6 a week. Subscriptions $12, $13. I'm still gonna make a profit. And you see this price doing this, and they think it's gonna continue. That's why. I have macarons, so I still have 15, 16 months left of subscriptions on my 5 macarons, and I cannot see me getting subscriptions on it unless this token completely 180s and turns around. Subs started, they were supposed to start October 1st, and they got a leeway, an extension. But some did get pushed back, or again, it was planned out, and people said, oh, hell, I don't want to miss out on this. And they subscribed. It worked. Like, that part is not just me guesstimating. There are people who are on their Discord, on X, admitting that I saw that price move and I subscribed. That's not Grumpy guesstimating or Grumpy's conspiracy with his foil hat. There are people who are publicly admitting that. I wouldn't have, like, as if you're some big financial guru expert, but yes, they can subscribe after a month. And that is the thing, is it's only no, let me phrase that. There is a discounted plan for 1 year. So you can get it discounted for 12 months, or you can, for a little bit more, what the monthly rate would be, you can get the monthly rate. So yes, there are some people who have to, renew every month or whatever like that. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know. Bro hat, what's that? This hat is the hat I got at the Motorola conference, because my Grumpy Dad hat needs to be fumigated because I keep wearing it outside in the 100-degree heat. This is the Motorola Trunked Users Group. So, and then this one is, somebody asked me what kind of weird name this was. This is Viavi, and Viavi sells scopes for tuning radios and repeaters and antennas and stuff like that. I'm looking at a new Viavi scope that does auto tune. So if your radio all radios, no radios have crystals nowadays. They all have software defined radios inside of them, oscillators or whatever. And your radio is supposed to be tuned, transmitting at 858 megahertz. And over time, and it being dropped 100 times and weird voltages on batteries or whatever, it's not transmitted at 858 anymore. It's at 857.975 or 859, 860 dot whatever. So the Viavi has a new scope that you just put the radio into it and press auto tune, and it measures, and however much it's off, it automatically, they worked out a contract with Motorola. Instead of you having to dig into the Motorola specs yourself and doing all the tuning and stuff yourself, you press tune, and Viavi's device automatically tunes it for you for 25 grand. They ain't my money. Oh, so what else? I know we only got 13 people here. 2 other projects I did videos on that I don't know nothing about. Tempe, can anybody tell me anything about Tempe? Tempe is another one that's coming out. Or it's out now. I had Helium Deploy ask me to do a video on it. But then somebody in the Discord contacted me also about Tempe. I don't know if they heard it from another YouTube or something like that. This is just another node. Straight passive income. This we need to cash flow, but I'm not really that familiar with Tempe. And the other one that I was a little more interested in is Beamable. Y'all know I'm into computer games and stuff. Beamable seems to be this will be coming online soon. I've had a lot of people ask me about Beamable. So Beamable is not a completely new project. Another one, I had somebody ask me about, let me find it, where they texted me at. Go. Let me find it in the text. I hate Telegram. Datagram network. I didn't see nothing about Datagram on here. And Datagram. More layer 3 stuff. This is Datagram. Public node said another node. All these people are so interested in it, but I don't know what it is. Like, is this just another node that you're gonna host while other people do networking? Like, I don't have no more bandwidth left. I got so many projects using my bandwidth now. I don't know. I'm not familiar with Datagram. If any of y'all are familiar with Datagram, let me know. I'm not familiar with Datagram. I keep having people ask me, like, you say keep having people. I had somebody ask me about it. Hey, can you do a video on Datagram? I'm hearing stuff about it. I want to see. This is what I've seen about it. So, again, I've had a couple people asking about Beamable, because Beamable is going to be coming soon to Helium Deploy. $370. Seems like all these nodes are about the same thing. Now, y'all's homework, if y'all followed y'all's homework was to go watch Tech Hustler's video on Is DEPIN Dead? I hope everybody did their homework. I keep telling y'all, despite what y'all feel about the dude, put that to a side and watch that video. He is not wrong. You might not like, I know some of y'all don't care for him. I know some of y'all do care for him. I don't have an issue with him. All these YouTubers, I kind of know where they come from. And I don't put 100% stock into anything any of them say. This was even before I was a YouTuber myself. I try to be as honest as I can with y'all about everything. So I guess I'm not really, talking too high of myself, but the dude's a good dude. I have no issue with him. Anybody who wants to start training for boxing and go get boxed in the head, all right in my books. But his DEPIN is dead video is pretty accurate. Some of these no-name projects that are trying to sell you, like, I hope I don't piss nobody else off here, but what was that? Was that likable? Like, what was that stupid? What's the project where it has a light sensor on it and a sound sensor on it? So when they took it apart, all it was a 3D plastic case with an ESP32 with a light sensor on it and a microphone on it for the sound, and they're charging like $300 or $400 for it or something like that. That's absurdly stupid. And they try to say, oh, it's because of the software and stuff on. That's the Motorola excuse. But the Motorola wants to sell radios for $8,000, handheld radios for $8,000. But guess what? We've had some that we lost in a flood, found it 2 or 3 days later, swapped the battery out, and the damn radio works still today. So yes, they make a hell of money off their software, but their radios can back up the talk. The stupid mic light sensor thing or any of these other DEPIN projects, not all of them. He talks highly about GeoNet. He talks highly about Wingbits. And I think he even talks kind of highly about WeatherXM. But some of these other ones, they tell him how he tells it like it is. Some of these projects are just making money off the sales. A lot of us have heard the saying, the people who made the most money during the gold rush were the people selling picks and shovels. This is the DEPIN gold rush. I kind of passed helium was. But you know who made the most money during the helium gold rush? Was the people who didn't sell those devices. So, didn't ship those devices. I know everybody going to run no though because I'm crypto idiots. Easy targets. Everybody wants the next helium. Everybody wants the next helium. I know y'all have never heard this story before, but I'm still searching for the next helium. I got bit in the butt as my initial deep. I didn't even know what DEPIN was back then in 2020. All I know is me and 3 buddies go in on thirds on a $5,000 helium device, and we ROI'd in 17 days. And I'll continue to tell that story every time we talk about stuff like this. So, of course, we're always searching for that next possible helium device. Where we screwed up is we took all those profits and we bought 20 more helium devices. Maybe more than 20. And we took some profits and stuff. Evacuated my family for hurricane. But you know what I'm saying? My point is, so I got bit in the ass by it in a positive way, like infected, whatever you want to say. When I realized that, man, I've been struggling with ASIC miners at that time, or whatever I had, GPU mining, I think at the time. I don't know if I started GPU mining right after that, right before that. But I'm like, this healing device made me $5,000 in 17 days. So you're hoping you can get to that again. I just don't see it. I don't see how the only chance you have is, and I hate to even use this example. Oh God, I hate to even use this example, but I'm going to use for example. With helium, you were making a lot of tokens in the beginning. And then those tokens at the time, I was making 25 to 30 helium tokens a day. Even then at $3, $4, $5, and then went to $10. You're like, holy hell. But then tokens went down a little bit. So you went down to 16. So you were making $160 a day. No joke. The only way I can see that ever happening is we get into a project that we're making these tokens, and somehow that price takes off again. I don't know if it was just a perfect storm. You had people who were trying to sell the devices, and to sell the devices or manufacture devices, they had to buy the data credits, they had to buy the licenses, they had to buy the different things like that. And that helped boost their price. There needs to be a Netflix documentary on helium. How in the hell it went from, 27,000 devices, I think, that were online when I got in. 25,000, 27,000. $2 a token. It might have been like $1.75, $1.80. I don't know. And then jumped up to $40, $50 a token. Guy in Baton Rouge who had fake machines everywhere because I knew the layout. He had fake stations in the middle of jails and stuff like that. There was no such thing as a list. And that dude literally had over $1 million, $1 million of helium in his wallet. Then when that list came out, the ban list, his devices get banned. And what's he care? He cleaned his wallet out and was back into 30, 40, 50 grand again. He don't care. Okay, you'll ban me now. I made over $1 million. So I know I'm just rambling on. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a good live. Just BS live. Maybe one day I can figure out, maybe Axie can help me. I know he's been busy. Again, I know I had a long talk about Wingbits. If y'all didn't see that, I'm thinking about, I felt so good about after getting that off my chest about Wingbits. I really think I'm going to I've never did this before, but some YouTubers, if they have a long video like I did, that was one of the longest videos I made this morning. I apologize, but that's why I put chapters in it. And that's another thing. If I get rid of Nadix and I get rid of Sword Chain and some of the stuff like that, that means I can knock some of these projects off my Monday list. I know some of y'all are into that, so I don't know. I got to figure out a way to make them videos shorter. But I'm really thinking about taking an excerpt of strictly that Wingbits speech I did this morning for 15 minutes and making it its own video so that people can just watch that and not have to worry about the rest of it. But I meant it as a positive way. It's one of the things that, like, I was trying to get off my chest that this is a positive, about as much as you can spin a delay and TGE as positive as you can. But it's still a positive thing because of the 20% bonuses you're getting and different things like that, and better for long term. But when I edited it, I'm like, these Wingbits guys might get pissed. This don't sound positive, but I meant it as a positive. So I'm thinking about doing its own video with it, just so people can get the idea on that. Network documentary. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate all the support as usual. I thank everybody for joining. Make sure you hit the like button before you leave on the way out. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. I must have mentioned something good, bad, or not at all about the president. So y'all lost like 50, 60 subscribers over the last week. That kind of thing happens. It is what it is. You gain some, you lose some. You never know. There might have been a whole bunch of people from India that got booted for some reason. Who knows? I don't know. But either way, I thank y'all. I've been stuck at 32,000 subscribers for a while now. But I guess it's time to do another shock video, another Wendy O clickbait article that, oh my God, did you hear what Wingbits did now? And then just have an absolute nothing burner video about nothing. That's how Wendy O does it. I guess it's that in the cleavage that gets 100,000 subscribers. I don't know. I've learned a lot about her. I learned a lot about crypto and moonbags from Wendy O. That's why I don't think she needs to stoop to the amount of clickbait she does. She has good content, other than shoving XRP down our throats constantly. But she has good content and she knows the shit. So, like, why do you have to do clickbait? I don't know. Maybe it's for employees. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate it. I'll be back. Tomorrow I might do my little Wingbits video, see if I can edit it out. I don't know. We'll see. And then Thursday night we'll be back for another live. I'm contemplating trying to do something on Discord. I was asked to do stuff on Discord. I don't see what the difference is. If there's people who don't go on YouTube and want me to do something like a BS night on Discord, I don't know what kind of following that would have. My Discord's only got 100. No, I'm sorry. I just hit 200 members on my Discord, where I got 32,000 subscribers, even though I only get 15 people here. I don't know. If there's a way I can stream to both of them, I'd like to figure that out. But even a quick Google search, there's nothing about that. So I don't know if one blocks the other, or it's an audio issue or what. I don't know. I see I have a lot of drop frames down here, so I got to figure out what's wrong with my internet connection. Also, they keep telling me I'm getting fiber to house sooner or later. I can't wait. But I know I'm rambling on. So I appreciate it. Thank you all for the support. and we'll see y'all on the next video, and see y'all in Discord. If y'all not in the Discord, when I'm done with this, I'll be adding some links to the description below. I didn't get a chance to, and there'll be links to the description below on how to get into my Discord. Y'all come on in and talk